lucky that all three of the kids now have really fell in love with surfing. Like me and Michelle have. Obviously Michelle surfs all the time as well, and her family has a long heritage in surfing. Yeah, it would have been hard for them to not be into surfing, but for them to excel in it is so special to see. We live for our kids, and surfing with them, it's everything. What else do you need? I love exploring and finding new waves and challenging myself in conditions. What can I ride my longboards in? And I really enjoy riding hollow waves on a longboard. And so going and finding those waves and exploring is something I really enjoy. And being able to do that with your family is one of the most special things any day of the year, whether it's -2 or 21 degrees, you know. When I'm on a longboard, I feel happy and comfortable, always having fun. There's not really a dull moment on a longboard, even when it's big and scary. For me, that's the most exciting feeling, throwing yourself over a ledge on a big board and locking a railing, a long railing on a hollow wave is something that you can't really compare it to anything else. And it is right at the other end of our spectrum of longboarding, but I love designing boards that would help me achieve that. When you get locked in the pocket and you're hanging 10 and you're feeling the front of your board lift up, it's pretty special, I think, playing with different designs and being able to actually go through a fast section hanging 10, lifting up. There is no better feeling.
Welcome to Longboarder magazine. We're in Newquay to meet up with one of the most cutting-edge longboarders and shapers in the world, Ben Skindog Skinner. Ben is a perfect example of a complete surfer, comfortable on all boards in all conditions, and able to translate this surfing into beautifully crafted equipment. He's 11 times European Longboard champion and currently second on the World Longboard Tour. But Ben is also raising a beautiful family and running a state-of-the-art shop and factory. So we're looking forward to finding out more. Skindog Surfboards is a masterwork of converted shipping containers. It has a wonderful, welcoming atmosphere reflected in Ben's personality. Chewing the fat with Ben is always a treat. At the heart of the building is a newly finished shop and boardroom with a stunning stained glass window to light up the designs. It must be quite magical to see it at different times of the day.
It's amazing, and the colours that it lets off, like even back in the factory, you'll be back there and you'll see like rainbows coming off boards and stuff. It's mad. And you know, it's just a nice vibe. We really wanted to do it. And actually it's funny because the logo gets projected like right into the middle of the floor in the morning when it's sunny, and it moves around the room.
Ben comes from a vibrant and ocean-loving surf family. His mum an amazing sailor, and his sisters and dad all brilliant surfers. But I'm keen to find out how Ben got into longboarding.
I've always ridden all sorts of boards, twin fins and short boards from a young age. I just love being in the surf, so if I wanted to go surfing, sometimes it had to be on a longboard. And the feeling of nose riding is, to me, one of the best feelings out of surfing.
Ben quickly took that feeling to the very pinnacle of competitive longboarding, winning national and international contests and becoming a standout on the world tour, building friendships and bridges all around the globe.
There's something special about the longboard community all around the world, and I feel like when you're longboarding, you're part of that, and it's a special thing.
Ben continues to stay as relevant and future-facing as ever, excelling on lightweight longboards and evolving incredibly when the contest criteria embraced classic single-fin riding, but with innovative rail surfing still at the heart.
Longboarding's in a good place at the minute, and I do think it's progressive logging that we're seeing from everyone in the WSL now rather than high performance longboarding. And being progressive on a traditional board is exciting, so board design plays a key part in that. And once you start playing with design and figuring out how to gain lift out the front of your board whilst locking the tail in the pocket, it's a whole nother feeling, and it really changed my life. The Cherry Picker, for example, is the board that I started to get that feeling from, that you feel the lift and you go through the next section and through the next section, and it's like, what? Those are the moments that make surfing so special for me.
What I've always loved about Ben's longboarding is its high risk. He takes it to the edge and further every time. Like a hot coal in a rainstorm, Ben's surfing blazes with beauty and intensity. His deep in the pocket lifting tens are sensational, and his rail turns through roundhouses and classic drop knees are unrivaled.
Once you get the feeling of holding a long rail with a big fin and you're pushing all that water and using that momentum out of the nose ride to swing your turns and making that figure of 8 drop knee. And I'll always love that feeling of going fast on a rail on a longboard, doing a big roundhouse cutback.
What advice would you give to people learning to try to do a drop knee cutback?
I would say the main thing is to kind of open up your shoulders. It feels like you're going to fall when you're doing a drop knee unless you're actually going faster and on a rail. So speed is kind of key into a drop knee turn so that you can keep that position. But opening up your shoulders actually allows you to do a much tighter turn as well. So you'll see the drop knee turn used for a quick snap back into the pocket as well, because it is a way of turning your body more and opening up your shoulders more, allowing the board to turn quicker and sharper.
While Ben's small wave act is ice cool, his tube riding is red hot.
And actually, I find it much easier to ride barrels on a longboard. I find I can just get under that ledge a bit quicker and get my line a bit earlier. So you take that whole drop out of the equation if you're quick enough. Obviously, if it goes wrong, it goes really wrong. But if you put your head down and commit, you can get under most ledges because you've just got the paddle. And then once you're in, you've got the stability and then the long rail line. Once I designed that board, the Slab Hunter, which is like a quad with a swallowtail and a really unique rail shape, I just feel so comfortable on it in that situation. That's super exciting for me, is riding challenging waves. And Lucas, that's what he wants to do now. So I'm excited about the next year or two on where we're going to actually end up surfing together.
Doesn't make sense, but every cell in my body to kill and conquer, to win and rule. Oh, it's what we learn at school. By sword. And it works out great. Why should come on, perform better, climb higher, educate away. I am all my degrees, my masters say, look at me, I am somebody. It's what I've learned at my conclusion is that it's all a lie.
Togetherness is a central theme for Ben. He's a people person and always puts friends and family first. Sharing his love of the water with Michelle, they have safely introduced the kids to wave riding from a young age in a positive way. One of Lucas's stepping stones was skateboarding, developing resilience, learning to fall, getting back up for more, and soon feeling at home in the air.
Just growing up skateboarding from when I was like 3, and I started doing big airs on 8-foot quarter bikes, and I was like, I just want to do this in the sea now.
Lucas has followed in his dad's footsteps as a European champion, and I'm keen to ask Ben how he got into competing.
Competing started for me in Jersey in the Channel Islands, just doing kids contests with a local surf club. Probably as about 8 years old when I did my first event, and I really enjoyed that part of pushing myself and my ability. And then moving to Cornwall when I was like 10, 11 years old, loads more events opened up for me, and it was like British Longboard Union. I've been doing that since I was 12 years old, and we became friends there. We've got friends from all around the world that have come and done the BLUs with us, and it is a community and it feels like you're part of a family. So that's a big part of it that makes me want to do it.
How do you think competition helps surfers develop?
You'll often find you'll do things in a contest in a heat that you might not have ever done before because you're pushing yourself to try and better yourself or beat another person. So it's a challenge, it's fun. You have to beat your opponent and make all those micro decisions all the way through. And for Lucas, for example, if he wants to fulfill his dream of being on the WSL, then he has to compete from a young age and have a grassroots pathway. I think the more you do it, the more comfortable you are in that environment.
I want to ask Ben what advice he would give to people getting into competitions for the first time.
Go there to meet people more than anything else and just enjoy being part of it. And when you enjoy being part of something, often you'll start surfing to the best of your ability before you know it. But don't be scared of going, because actually it's more about the community and making friends in the surfing community. And if you love it, then you can make a life out of it. It's not a bad way to live. Competing has been a job for me and driven me through a lot of my life.
Despite all the victories, many successful competitors look back on a particular breakthrough win that will always stay with them.
My first European title at Estoril in 2007. It was the breakthrough moment for me. Michelle was on the beach pregnant with Lucas, and I had a 9.8 on my first wave and then a 10 on my second wave. Those are the moments that I take into every event that I go into and just try and go back to that place.
And it was pretty magic that Lucas won his first European title also in Portugal.
I have to pinch myself sometimes. Think, is this really happening? You know, watching Lucas win a European title was just like, what is going on, you know? Amazing.
And what a bonus for Lucas to have his dad shaping his boards.
Yeah, it's amazing. We just work on so many models together. It's kind of really cool. He knows exactly what I need. He works with all my mates as well, which is cool. Yeah, just having him by my side, and whenever I need a board for a contest, he's like, boys, can you please do this? And they're like, yeah. So all the boys up at the factory are legends as well.
Lucas's younger brother Levin is already hooked on salt water, surfing piggyback with Ben and now paddling into waves alone. But following closely in Lucas's footsteps is Lila, already a junior national champion.
Yeah, she's catching up really quick. I'm like a bit scared, to be honest, but when we're out in the sea we trade waves and yeah, it's really fun. I filmed her at the wave the other day with the GoPro, so yeah, she's improving so much. The other day she almost did an air, which I was like, whoa, which that came out of nowhere. I was so surprised.
Lila, she just wants to surf all day, and she's been through all Lucas's boards and she's figuring out what works and what doesn't work. And I love it, I just love it. The most exciting thing for me.
Being able to spend time with the kids and actually doing something we all enjoy, and it's healthy, it's outside, it's free.
What would you like to see them get out of it in the next few years?
I think for both of them, just do lots of travelling and just enjoy the experience while it's happening. Enjoy the moment is the most important thing.
Looks like he's floating on the water because the board's like hiding. He makes it look so easy.
Despite Ben's ability to make longboarding look easy, he's continually working hard to improve his technique and design cutting-edge equipment for everyone to enjoy. And this drive to develop equipment and perform at the highest level is the inspiration behind the founding of Skin Dog Surfboards.
I think it was a natural progression from being a surfer. I think everyone geeks out on new board designs and dimensions and volumes. And I think that every surfer has that feeling where you see something and you're like, that's going to make my surfing feel better and more fun. So you want to ride it. And that's something that I've always loved and why I've ridden all sorts of boards. And like Chops the Sails used to make my boards for me, and he made me ride twin fins when I was younger, and it was the best thing ever for me. So I'm excited about board design and how it feels and how that's going to make me surf. So I was lucky enough to work with some really good shapers. Mark Neville, he was a huge part in my shaping passion, I suppose, watching him shape my boards and seeing how much he put into it. And we spent a lot of time talking about it, and he really cared and wanted to know, and he extracted a lot from me. And I think in those moments you start to build up all this knowledge eventually, and it just felt like time to kind of do my thing and try and design some boards. And Grazy is my business partner, Jason Gray, and he's 5 times Masters British champion in the longboard. He was glassing my boards that Mark Neville was shaping. So we built this relationship and we started making carbon rail boards. The first one we made had a stringer in it and basically snapped in the first surf. The stringer popped and the carbon stayed completely solid, obviously, but it just couldn't handle the torsion. We wanted to carry on experimenting with this and try and develop carbon rail technology. And at that time, we both were told we were going to be parents and the boys ended up being 9 days apart. So we started the business for them as well. It was like, this is our time to start something that belongs to us, that we're going to leave for our kids instead of doing all this for somebody else. And essentially that's why we started Skin Dog Surfboards. We're lucky enough to have like a long-standing team. Verdi from Spain, Charlie as a sander and factory manager, and then myself and Grazy doing the shaping and the laminating. And then we've built this shop alongside the factory, and we want to create an experience here for people. You know, when you come in, ordering a board's quite a special thing and it's a big deal. So we want to make it a big deal when you come here, and we're a family, we work together every day, but what you get from that is we're all in sync with each other, and it's a creative environment which is exciting. We see Grazy work with resin, it's pretty amazing to watch, totally in tune with it, whether it's resin tints or spray jobs. And a lot of the time we build custom boards for people, so we get kids that draw on it with crayon and we go, yeah, we can make that work, and then we turn it into what they want to see, you know, and that's the fun bit for us, is making people happy at the end of the day.
Fueled by a clear and deep love of surfing, competition has been a core element in Ben's journey, proudly representing Great Britain as a junior shortboarder and excelling as a longboarder to win multiple silver medals and consistently place in the top 3 on the world tour. Missing the big win by a whisker, but shaping a world title winning board. His contest wisdom and experience make him an excellent coach. And alongside his tours and 11 European titles, Ben has focused closely on photo and video projects to generate positive exposure for his long-term sponsors. Add to this raising a family and launching a surfboard business, and you really begin to appreciate how hard-working Ben is. This hard work has spread the culture of skin dog surfboards globally, making people happy on all kinds of equipment all around the world. But as a surfer shaper who puts innovation at the core, I'm keen to ask Ben, what have been the materials breakthroughs that have really inspired him?
The Thunderbolt technology that we're using now, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, when I saw this construction, and I was like, this is the best construction I've ever seen. This is something that I've really dug deep to make happen. I borrowed money. It's not something that landed on my lap. I worked hard to get it because I knew it was that good. And we didn't know that it was going to be taken on by Firewire because they believe it's the best construction in the world as well. Yusan Sumitomo, who invented Thunderbolt, I managed to get in touch with him and we ended up working together and making Thunderbolt happen for Skin Dog. And it was so exciting for me because the Thunderbolt design is creating torsional flex, which is the reason Skin Dog is here as a brand, because the CRT, the carbon rail technology that we were making at the time, was creating this torsional flex. But the consistency of materials was super hard for us and the costs, and so it became really hard to make them in a production style. But we had a lot of fun making them, and I feel like finding Thunderbolt was the perfect match for us. And actually we have different constructions in Thunderbolt as well, and we have the high-end full carbon laminate, which is a black construction. We have a red construction, which is fiberglass laminate but carbon internal flex system, and we have a silver, which is a traditional hand laminate with just a T-band stringer. So all these boards have a design around flex and the feeling underneath your feet. You know, they are light and they are strong, but we can target weight them, and that's why we have the silver, the red and the black. So for the traditional boards, we put them in the silver construction because we want a little bit more weight and momentum feeling with those boards. And then the reds are like more all-round boards like the Over. And then the black for me is having that quick feeling of carbon under your feet. Reacting is pretty special. So that's pretty exciting to me, and we're going to keep pushing that boundary of what we can do.
Not only does carbon fibre offer a more exciting performance edge, it also offers a more sustainable board, quite simply through strength and longevity. At the moment, 2 of the key boards in Skin Dog's Thunderbolt range include the Peacemaker and the Cherry Picker.
So I had some really high performance boards, and the Peacemaker was something I designed alongside CJ Nelson. I made the Wrangler, and CJ saw the Wrangler when I was in California and said, I love this board, this is where I want to go. It's like hard edges, and we were thinking the same way. Traditional boards with a hard edge that you can still kind of push hard turns on. So we decided to make a board together, and the original was the 9.6 single fin with a hard edge, much wider up the front with that performance tail. So these boards nose ride from the front rather than the Cherry Picker nose rides from the tail. This is geared up to surf however you want to surf on it, and CJ can cruise and nose ride and put big turns in and surf how he wants, and I can surf how I want on this one board. So the Peacemaker was designed to try and bridge the gap.
The Peacemaker has become the board of choice for my daughter Lola, taking her to 2nd place at the European Junior Championships. How did it feel to see Lola riding this?
I love it because she's the perfect surfer for it as well, because she's got such a good technique on the tail and such a good turn that anything else would take that away from her, you know? So this board allows her to nose ride, and I think that really hits the nail on the head. It's that surfer that really does love that feeling of putting a board on rail and having a hard edge, but then she surfs traditionally and with style, and the rest of the board allows her to do that as well. She's a prime target for this board, and I love seeing her ride it. I love it.
At the other end of the spectrum is the Cherry Picker.
The Cherry Picker is very different. It nose rides from the tail, not the nose. It's still a traditional board and traditional outline, but I feel just that little bit of twist that we put in the tail, that concave behind the fin, just changes the feeling.
And that feeling is a radical nose rider that still retains an incredible turning arc to carve from the rail despite the wide tail.
It's still about speed, power, flow and control. So that's what I love about this board, is that we've managed to capture those things, and you can turn with speed, power and flow. And it was one of the best nose riders I've ever ridden, ever. So.
Given a lot of people a lot of joy,
yeah,
me included.
Yeah, I see the joy that people get. I still feel it, you know, even though we're playing with new designs at the moment. There's no doubt in my mind that the Cherry Picker is a real special board, and it's never going to change.
Yeah,
it's always going to be a special board.
Sense of joy when you've got that long backside.
Yeah.
Hardest thing to do is to nose ride on your backside, and
yeah.
I just saw your face lit up when you're like exploring new shapes, and you go back to something you've put a lot of time into designing. You're like, this is still an incredible board.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's what's been exciting for me, has been developing the right fins for the right boards and the right boards for the right style of surfing. And I've just learnt so much over the last 2 years about myself, my surfing, my shaping, designing, and the Cherry Picker's opened a lot of doors. So yeah, the new shapes we're basing around the Cherry Picker's design, because obviously it works so well, but it's trying to add different things to change that feeling, outline being one and more lift being another.
And watch this space as Ben and Lucas, who is also an incredible longboarder, have been developing the double scoop with some insanely positive outcomes in the pocket and on the face.
It's cool to know I can just go and jump on both, and it helps smooth all my shortboarding out, I think. There's no other feeling being in the water and doing manoeuvres on a wave or just gliding on the nose. You don't think of anything else when you're out in the sea. It's just the funnest thing I could possibly ask for.
To see your kids excelling already in something that you continue to excel at, how much does that mean to you?
I feel like I'm on the journey with them, you know, just feel really part of it. And for me, actually, one of the biggest things that I do at the minute is make boards for kids at whatever level, whatever age. And, you know, we have a library of Lucas's and Lila's boards from when they've grown up, and we don't sell any of them, they're all here. And We want people to come and try them because it's so important to get them on the right board at the right time for them to enjoy it and to excel at that level.
Youth support has become a cornerstone of Skin Dog and Skin Pup surfboards.
I'm supporting a lot of the juniors that I can in the country and actually some around the world as well. I really want to nurture the talent I see and give the support that I know they need because I've been there, been that kid. And that's going to be a big thing for me, is to kind of support them where I can. But also, you know, I'd love to win a world title and leave that legacy that it is possible and that we're British and we can still go and win. That's something I'd like to achieve.
There is no doubt in my mind that Ben deserves a world title. He finished second place in the World Championships in 2008 and has been runner-up a number of times since. No other European surfer has come as close as regularly to a world title as Ben. And in doing so, he has shaped an exciting future, launching a surfboard business and raising a family brimming with talent. The future is blazing bright for the Skinners and all the friends and family who are part of this radical ride.
Now that you got me started, I just can't